is a wee video DMBIS made of the kind of the afternoon. So the whole thing about these kind of sessions with the unauthorised trail builders is to try and build a bit of a relationship with them. Been to kind of meetings and stuff. We had a fatality with a young kid, Kieran McCandle, killed on an unauthorised trail. Kind of set up a meeting with the folk that had built these trails that he got killed on, and the main thing they were worried about was that we were going to destroy their trails. And the sort of stuff they were getting online and things was come and meet the scum that manage the mountain bike trails. That sort of language isn't helpful when you're trying to fix issues like that. So the types of things that we were doing here was trying to get them to see us as human beings, not as kind of like faceless civil servants that were just out to ruin their fun. As an organisation, we constantly underestimate the addiction that is trail building and riding new trails. And that is quite a kind of a powerful addiction for folk that just want to build these new trails and ride these new trails, and they don't want these trails to be shut down. And it's like they'll take their kind of normal head off and they'll just be that focused. So there's like we, Kieran McCandle, dead, and what are they worried about? You're going to destroy our trails. That was kind of like, that was a bit of a kind of an eye-opener for me. I knew from dealing with cycling, mountain biking kind of started in the early 80s for us as an organisation. One of the reasons we got into trail building was to reduce unauthorised trail building, so you were getting a lot of unauthorised trail building. And the other reason was to try and get cyclists off forest roads. Forest roads are forest roads, they're designed as forest roads, they're not designed as cycle trails. So we had a few fatalities on forest roads with cyclists, so we thought, tell you what, we need to start building trails for them, get them off the forest roads, and that will help reduce the unauthorised trail building. So unauthorised trail building has been with us since, the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Mountain bikes came in really kind of 82, 83 or so. And I've been involved with them kind of since then. Used to build a lot of trails back in the day, kind of riding your Muddy Fox Specialised, a bit like Dave on his old bike there. I just threw mine in the skip there the other year. Didn't realise how much they were actually worth as old bikes and things. But anyway, just dug it out of the shed and kind of binned it. But anyway, that's them. So, as I say, been a big issue. It's an issue we get asked about a lot all around the world. People get in touch. Who knew Hong Kong's got a big issue with unauthorised mountain bike trails? I didn't know that till the Hong Kong Council kind of got in touch and went, need a hand with this. Phil Saxena got to go out to Hong Kong and kind of give them advice on unauthorised mountain bike trails. New Zealand, Canada, Bristol University, Isle of Man, been out in the Isle of Man talking about unauthorised trails and stuff on the Isle of Man and stuff as well. It's like this issue that affects cycling. It's a big threat to cycling for land managers and cyclists. Kind of unauthorised trail building is like a huge threat. Anyway, if we play this wee video and you'll see what we're kind of talking about there. So this is where we are now, trying to kind of build bridges and sort of move on. How are we going to manage this?
As part of the Developing Mountain Biking in Scotland conference, and we just had a few awesome days of workshops and talks, and now we're all out here digging and riding, and it's so cool just to have everyone just out with some shovels and having a great time.
It does a lot for the land manager. It kind of builds the relationships. People see each other as humans, and they're kind of walking in each other's shoes. So you're sort of trying to build the respect and trust between the land manager and the mountain biker.
Brilliant just to be out here, man. It's like, to me it's a no-brainer, these sort of volunteer dig days, you really get to know the people in the community. A lot of people would come out and help with stuff like this that you wouldn't always share a ride with.
We're working with forestry to try and maintain these trails to a decent standard so we can sort of open them up a bit more to the public. On top of this, I work for the Lagan Forest Trust. They're all about creating jobs for the local people here. The more people we can bring in mountain biking, the more people I can employ at the cafe.
So we're over in Lagan at the last day of the Mountain Bike Conference and the Trail Summit. Amazing, we're out with the Forestry Commission, Scotland and England, national trusts here, Developing Mountain Bike in Scotland here, local club, cafes, businesses, and we're actually working on some wild trail. And it's just great, so much activity going on, so much enthusiasm. And it's the first time I think we've had a real discussion around trail advocacy and trail development nationwide, and the last few days of the conference has been overwhelming in that cross-party and community engagement in the future of managing the trails in Scotland. So today has just been brilliant.
so how did we get to that approach? Bit of a journey from us, as I say, kind of early 80s, unauthorised mountain bike trails. We weren't building a lot of trails ourselves. We started learning how to build trails. You can see the first guidance we wrote, unofficial routes and cycle, challenging cycling as we were calling it then. Paddy Harrop, highly involved with that one. So first published 2000, we updated it in 2008, 2012, 2015. There's staff sitting in here that helped with the various updates and stuff. Martin O'Vaster, stick your hand up. Go faster, O'Vaster. And the stuff there. National Access Forum guidance, launched in 2018, so that was the stuff that we were talking about earlier. It's kind of based on the stuff that we wrote for the Forestry Commission. And we had the Land Reform Act in 2003, all about respect. So, you know, trying to bring that kind of approach, much what Wales are doing. Wales are sort of utilising the trails. We know we've got an issue, how are we going to cope with this and how are we going to get people working together on it. It's a big issue, it's a big major threat for cycling. So we need to kind of find a way forward on it. So, desire lines, what we're actually talking about. So, tracks that have evolved by riding, walking, so no actual digging, just repetitive use. People kind of establish trails just by cycling on them, walking on them, becomes a trail. And that takes you, I mean, I was talking to Bob the other night, I was giving him a bit of history, so I used to ride like enduro motorbikes, used to race enduro trails. A lot of your early mountain bike trails in the early 80s, especially around like Glentress, Innerleithen and stuff, actually came from the motorbike enduro trails. So when the mountain bikes came along, the mountain bikers were like, what trails can we ride? Well, here's all these motorbike ones that were carved in by the motorbikes, so they started riding the motorbike trails. So a lot of the kind of original trails, and like trail design, Pete Lane, I don't know if anyone knows Pete Lane. Pete Lane used to be a really kind of top level enduro bike rider, motorbike enduro. He took his kind of motorbike enduro skills and took that to like building cycle trails. So he was like, he worked for Ferranti. Anyone remember Ferranti? Went burst at a big scale. Fraud scandal type stuff. So he worked for Ferranti, but then became kind of like a full-time trail designer. No actual kind of official qualifications in trail design. That's something you get to talk about later with the IMBA ones. Never been kind of an official qualification or whatever. All he did was he turned his hobby into his business. And he based it on his kind of life skills and stuff. And his skills in trail building actually came from his kind of motorbike skills and things like that. Anyway. So desire lines need to be a one-off decision, you know, can be detrimental, cutting corners, stuff like that. So what is actually wild trail? And there is a lot of debate about. We started calling them wild trails as opposed to unauthorised trails or illegal trails, because you started from a kind of a lower base when you were talking to folk. If you were sort of saying to them, you're breaking the law, you're bad. So we just kind of named them wild trails to kind of take that out of it a bit. Trails have a degree of construction, stroke vegetation management, from simple ground level berms and tree brushing to specifically built timber structures. So Martin was actually heavily involved in coming up with like these definitions. So there's our wee chart, what we actually do. So you can see that, you know, this trail construction stuff has to fit in with the jigsaw that is land management. So we manage all this land. So 7 times more forest road than the entire motorway network. So loads of forest roads. We've got loads of land that people can cycle on, Land Reform Act, all that type of stuff. How are we going to do it? So the stuff, you know, like Dave was saying, it's about coming up with your kind of strategies and things. Where can people do stuff like this? Where can they not do stuff like this? Because of like all the other restrictions that we've got. So you can see the kind of flow chart. Yeah, we could allow that. You know, is it? You know, has it got? Used to get loads of timber construction stuff. We get a lot less of that these days, but there was a huge fad for that a few years ago. Basically based on all these Canadian videos that people would build all this mental stuff, film themselves riding it and then move on. Anyway, we ended up loads of it. So you can see this kind of flow chart, which gives you your basic options, kind of very similar to what Wales have got there. Closure and remove, tolerate and monitor. So tolerate and monitor, I might go and look at that once a year or once every 2 years, something like that. Depending on what we've kind of risk assessed it we like, adopt and inspect and stuff there. So you can see your sort of issues and how to kind of think about it. But it's based on that, has to fit in with all the rest of the stuff that's going on. You can't be breaking the law, destroying all the kind of wildlife or, you know, interfering with other stuff going on. So actually a growing problem, it's been bubbling away, 1980s. All that, it's got worse. So people have got fed up with the kind of Skeletrix trails that we've built, you know, where you get these hardcore trails that you can ride 24/7. Bikes have evolved. They're looking to get back to more of the kind of old school riding we used to do back in the 80s, man. So they're like looking for these downhill, natural, semi-natural trails. As I say, bike technology's moved on a lot. A lot more people are a lot more capable on their bikes. They've been riding them since they were kids, so their kind of skill level's a lot higher. Things there. So you've got many more folk looking for much more of this sort of off-road experience. So already been serious accidents. I was talking about wee Kieran getting killed there. Wales has also experienced fatal accidents, stuff there. There's like wee Kieran's roadside shrine. That's me out having a look at the, you know, where things went badly wrong, what we're going to do, the scum that manage mountain bike trails. You can tell I took that one well. Unauthorised trail building, you know, big threat. It's now reached a stage where we need clarity and a new way ahead. So it's not working, you know, just kind of going no, all this type of stuff. So we've developed this kind of approach where we're like teaching folk how to build unauthorised trails. Folk go, are you nuts? And you're like, well, if they're going to do it, you might as well get them doing it right. If you can get them to think about how they're going to build the stuff, what they're going to do, how does their exits and entries work, all that type of stuff, actually reduces the you know, like the amount of stuff that you have to fix or do away with and things there. So, you know, if it's in the right place, we're not looking to destroy it. It's like, if we can live with it, we'll live with it. So, England might recognise that. Do you know where that is, Martin? Top test here. Tilgate. So, we used to get a lot of that. We used to get all sorts of stuff. I used to refer to it as like the ugly child, you know, only its mother could love it. When you kind of turn up and see that, you're kind of like, why would you build stuff like that? You know? So, serious issue. We get a lot less of the timber construction, but we do get a lot of the kind of natural stuff. Needs tackled. So we've got, last count a couple of years ago, so over 500 kilometres of unauthorised trails. We've got whole unauthorised trail networks adjacent to like our official trail networks. So how do we manage that? Well, we make sure our official trail network's nicely signed and you know where all the official trails are. And we don't stick signs up on the unauthorised stuff, we don't grade it, anything like that. We're looking at ways of kind of thinking about that. How can we be smarter about using the kind of Strava data that's there, the Trail Forks data that's there. I've got a whole set of natural trails just along the road from where I live that are all beautifully marked and graded for us by kind of like citizen review stuff, you know, so there's got to be ways where we can use that. We just haven't figured it quite out yet, but we're working on it. So, you know, there's some classic kind of unauthorised trail building. Social media meant more sharing, so more people using the bits and things there. Although you do start getting signs on trails where the local riders are putting, do not put this on Strava, do not put this on Trail Forks, where they just want to keep it for themselves. Increased all the issues greatly, more numbers of riders are all involved and accessing. So we know it's, you know, we're back to the E's. It's like we've got an issue. So social media also provides an opportunity to promote responsible behaviours, also new opportunities for positive engagement. So in the past we used to nick the tools. So if we wanted to get folk to talk to us, you just stole their wheelbarrows and shovels. Leave them a wee note with a phone number, go and give us a call, we'll give them back to you maybe if you talk to us, kind of thing. So we're getting better at kind of engaging. Wanted to give you a wee kind of flavour of, so sometimes we're kind of pushing the boat out a bit and we're coming up with agreements and working with groups, so we can get groups together. So you deal with from just a few kids building stuff to like your doctors and lawyers and your local councillors out building unauthorised trails. So how do you cope with that? So you've got like a whole spectrum of things. So I mean, I know, you know, some of the local councillors are actually on the, like the access forums. The access forums have got they've got acronyms. So you get LAF, which is your local access forum, and you get NAF, which is your national access forum. So people on the local access forum actually out building unauthorised trails. You're kind of like, come on guys, you need to put your business head on here and actually kind of think about this professionally, the sort of issues that they're causing us. But that's where you get to that addiction on trail building, where it's like that addiction to trail building will blot out their kind of sensible thinking. So what you're trying to do is bring back the sensible thinking. You've got to treat this with respect. Work with the land manager. The land manager, this is their workplace. They're in charge of this place. They have responsibilities, both under criminal law and civil law. I won't go into all that because I know I'm kind of getting close to my time here. But anyways, stuff there. So, TVTA, Tweed Valley Trail Association. So, 4 years worth of kind of thinking about this. So, the first sort of group, so we've got Tweed Valley and you've got one up on the east coast, the Aberdeenshire Trail Association stuff. So we've had 4 years of kind of thinking about this and how we're going to kind of work with the groups and the sort of memorandum of agreements and sort of official, you form a constituted group and we'll work with you. So we're kind of pushing the boat out, going down a whole kind of top level sort of agreement stuff. So it took us 4 years to come up with the first one. But to do it from then on is a lot easier. So anyway, Tweed Valley, so baby steps for them. So we've agreed to 3 unauthorised trails that they can manage. So they're going to manage 3 unauthorised trails for us. They're going to do the inspections, they're going to do the maintenance, they're going to look for funding, stuff like that. But they're not going to use anything but hand tools. We've kind of said, look, no machine work, no kind of chainsaw work, stuff like that. Let's start off simple. Let's see if you can actually prove that you can do this and you can cope with this for the next couple of years and see how we get on. So we did a big kind of horse trading exercise, sort of looking strategically at all the trails that we're about, what's going to be the best ones for you to manage as a group, what you're going to do with these trails, all this type of stuff. So we've come up with this project and it's based at the Golfie. Anyone ridden at the Golfie? Yeah. It's kind of this whole unauthorised trail centre just down from Glentress Trail Centre, one of our kind of busiest official trail centres. So the Golfie is like this whole, it's like what you were seeing in Wales. So we've agreed to 3 trails for them to look after. How we're going to inspect it, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that. So they've got trained in like inspection and things, they've got ideas and they're proving how to do the inspection, so they've got a whole inspection system set up, how they keep the records, how they share the records with us, all that type of stuff. So as a group, they're kind of like self-managing themselves, looking after the trails, and coming back to us and going, this is what we've done, this is how we've done it, and allowing us access to their records so that we've got like the inspection and maintenance records and all that type of stuff. Like Wales are talking about, let's utilise this voluntary force that's out there and desperate to do stuff. And it's kind of splitting the difference between us doing it and them doing it, and what do we need to do to be kind of morally, we want to look after folk, legally we have to look after folk. Health and Safety at Work Act, occupiers liability, all that jazz. Financially, you want to look after folk. If you think health and safety is expensive, try having an accident. Great quote. 5 times the amount of the claim to defend the claim, stuff like that. So as an organisation, we're currently facing over 20 million in claims currently. And that's just like 2 claims, So for a year, that's, you're playing for big bucks here. That's like, big money, self-insured. You lose a £10 million claim, that's like £10 million that you could have spent doing stuff elsewhere. That's like having to shut down heaps of stuff at times. So that's why stuff like that, and utilising them and then helping you do your management and have all your inspection records and stuff. Great defence, So yeah, Tweed Valley Trail Association, watch this space, see how we get on. There's going to be bad times, there's going to be good times. It will be kind of like it's like stormy relationship at times, calms down at other times. Everybody doesn't get everything they want. You have to meet in that middle ground. They're desperate to get in there with machines. They want to ramp the stuff up. We're going, whoa, hang on a wee minute. Let's just prove that we can work this as a model first, and then we'll think about expanding it. But it's that kind of impatience to go. Now it also works with so your event organisers and stuff. So event organisers want to organise trail, want to use these trails in events and things. So they're built into the process of the event management. So, what's the event manager wanting to do? How they're going to do that? What happens if they trash the trail during the event? So you get 400 bikes over it on a wet day, over a whole wet weekend. That's a lot of passes, that's a lot of damage. Who's going to fix the trail? These guys have done all this work. So that's all kind of laid out, how that kind of process works. So Glentress Trail Ferries, So Glenchurch Trail Ferries is kind of the other end of the spectrum. We're in charge of them. We use the sort of volunteer group. We manage the volunteer group. We're in charge of the volunteer sessions. So we kind of take the business risk. We're running the volunteer sessions and things there. So hand-built trails. So they build all these really nice hand-built trails that are lovely to ride. Hand-built trails have a different feel to them to the machine-built stuff. We use them for like trail maintenance and things. But again, as I say, we constantly underestimate that addiction of building new trails. People aren't generally, volunteers generally aren't interested in doing the maintenance. They want to build new trails. They just want to build new trail, new trail, new trail, new trail. And you're going, no, 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 no. We need to manage what we've got. But can we manage it? You know, can we just kind of say, like, I tell you what, we'll make that new trail last for 3 years, and then we'll let you build a new trail. But you can't keep opening new ones. You can only ever have 5 trails. Shut down one trail, rub it out, build a new one. But you've still got your 5, move on sort of thing. So that kind of doing that kind of horse trading and getting them to kind of, you know, get that fudge in the middle. What are you looking for? You can't just keep building trails. You can't build a new trail for every event. That just, like, you know, event organisers, that just isn't sustainable. As event organisers, you know, trying to get them to understand that. So what can you do? I'll tell you what, why can't we put in wee bus stops on the existing trails, rub them out after the event? We've still got the existing trail again. We've used the bus stop, things like that. So what I mean by a bus stop is just like a wee kind of extra bit of trail that changes, you know, so they've not kind of practiced on the trail that they're actually racing on. But that's just a temporary trail, rub it out afterwards, remove it. And so that's, you know, where you're sort of like trying to do the sort of negotiations, get people to understand the issues and what they're up to. So as I say, Glenchurch Trail Ferries, kind of, you know, we've been running that group for a long time. Andy Wardman, one of the forestry rangers there, does a great job of running that group. We use a lot of the skills that we've developed in that group to run our wild trail building sessions. Same sort of thing, we run them in a similar way as we run the trail ferry sessions. So you take them out, give them the tool talks, teach them what to do, talk to them about trail construction and the sort of good points and bad points and things. Even if you can just get them to fix the exits where they're like interfering with your other trails and get them to understand the importance of doing that, that's like a major win for us. So it worked well for likes of Glenloy. So Glenloy's like 5 miles along from my house. We ran like trail building sessions over at Lagan. A few of the Glenloy trail builders were there. They went back to Glenloy and fixed a lot of their exits where they were coming out. And you're thinking, that afternoon's work was worth its weight in gold. If you imagine people going out round the forest and fixing stuff like that for you, starting to understand the issues, starting to brass trees correctly, not, you know, looking at you know, what's good practice, what can we do that doesn't give the land manager an issue. When you see some of the stuff they built in Glenloy, it takes them a week to build the berm. You know, they do so much hand digging on this berm, and you're just kind of like, that's a lot of work. They're going, oh, we want to get the digger in and things, and you're going, no way, Jose, you're not getting the digger in. If you want to build stuff like that, you have to do it by hand. You make that decision to do that and spend all that time and effort on that. That's up to you, sort of thing. You can see why they want to do it, but you're just trying to get them to understand the rationale behind it all and why we need to do all the stuff that we do. So, key lessons for me, as I keep saying, it's that fudge. So you're not going to get everything you want as a land manager, they're not going to get everything they want as trail builders. But you've got to try and get to that middle ground. Working together, it's all about building trust and respect. The trust is like a huge thing. It's like just getting them to see the issues and you understanding what they're wanting and just trying to work together a wee bit and get that trust built. Some days you have good days, bad days, scum that manage the trails, all that type of stuff, you know. It is very resource hungry.